I think it laid down a complete path for me to discover it. I've always been a late bloomer, about 10 to 15 years later, and everything is a foundation that I realized when people were talking today. I thought, what am I going to talk about? Because I must have been on cloud 210, because I don't remember all this stuff. I don't remember the teaching style. I just remember the feelings that I had back then. So to hear it put into words that are so concrete about our how we learned and how we had that acceptance and how wonderful all the teaching was, with Terry, that it really laid a foundation for me to become what I am now and overcome all those fears that I had back then. There was no way to tackle it then, but as adults, thank you, Terry, for everything you gave me and what I was able to blossom into, because I know it was this place that gave me the strength to do what I do now. And because of what I do, I can touch a lot of people and bring people up through my crap through that insecurity, and let people really blossom in their unique sense and their unique soul. So thank you for that.
I just want to say thank you to all the teachers for just really letting me be me and really encouraging individual thought, individual thinking, and creativity, and really helping you to really build your own character and really go after chase your own spirit. And Sycamore is just it's an amazing point in time that I really cherish. So
it makes me appreciate some of the self-confidence that I think I must have developed as an individual, that I hear other people talking about themselves being really encouraged by Terry and the school as individuals to pursue their passions and the love of learning. And definitely I feel like my love of learning was fostered here. I know I had it, but it was, I think, cultivated.
Terry's class was always full of kids who had something to share, and even the most quiet, timid person would surprise you with something that they brought in for current events, or some presentation or part of the play that they were going to do. And his ability to bring out that creativity and build that confidence in people was a big part of the reason I think so many people left here with a feeling that they could be anything and they could do anything, because he challenged them, and he didn't just give them answers, he challenged them to find the way to develop the answer on their own. So Terry, if I can say once again, I thank you for your ability to instill in us that confidence to go and be that person who is that true self. And even in times when you may not seem as though that's who you are, you set a compass in us, as we talked about before, and I truly value that compass. Thank you.
To me, it's the sum of the experiences where, and this was, I was going to say this morning, it's the way he synthesized the disciplines, like athleticism and, the use of the English language, and where is math useful, but it was all kind of interdisciplinary to the point where it didn't seem disciplinary. So everything was fun. It's like, what tool do we use in this situation? That's all it was. And so we didn't have to think of it as it's spelling time, or, you know what I mean? If it was time to spell, it was spelling time. Otherwise, it was whatever your project you were doing time. And I mean, that, I think that's a useful model at any level, at any age, in any discipline. I mean, it's almost like he was the Pixar of educators, the way they said, you know what, our animators will make such a funnier movie if they just have whatever cubicle they want, and are we in the creative arts or not? Yes, we are. So I mean, in that way, he is the artist. Terry, all the other things, you're going to hear so many things and they're going to touch you, but we love you, and we've carried away from your class the ability and the muscle memory to love, and that's thank you for that.
I just remember Terry was just a very special teacher, and he made everybody feel, very special, and you really wanted to work hard for him. I told my friend Jill the other night that we should have bumper stickers that say, "What would Terry do?" Because because he went even just with my kids. What would he do in this situation?
I was a room 1 kid in 76, 77 with Terry Kneisler for 6th grade, and that was a highlight of Sycamore, having Terry.
Tell me about that.
He treated all the students as real people. Maybe at home we didn't have as much power, or we were at the bottom of the pecking order, or whatever it might be, but in this classroom we were treated as individuals, and our differences and strengths and weaknesses were all respected. He just always resolved problems in a way that helped empower the student, and he was fun. And I told him today that he's the only other adult in my life that I'd start feeling that whiny tone, and I'd call him Mom accidentally, like my mother. It was the only person I've ever done that with. Terry, I spoke with you earlier today, and I'd just like to thank you for being such a wonderful, pivotal teacher to me and to the other kids I know in our class, and obviously from talking to others here, you had that impact on many years, or all 5 years that you taught. So thank you for helping build some of my foundations that I've taken through my life.
I think that one of the things that Terry was able to do was he was able to see you right away as to who you were. Even today, when we were sitting in a circle, he noticed that I was sitting on the outside of the circle. There are a lot of people around, but he right away said, "Evie Klein, you get in the circle." Terry then helped people blossom to be their best. And one thing that I wanted to say to Terry and about Terry, which is that he definitely is in my mind as a model for parenting, which is that how he spoke to the kids in the class, the effectiveness of his words. And I don't remember him raising his voice very often. He did occasionally, but mostly he was able to speak softly, kindly, and firmly, and with such precision that he got the results that obviously made huge impact on people's lives. I do think of models like Terry for how can you deliver a message creatively, calmly, and effectively. And Terry's definitely a role model in that.
I do remember the respect that Terry gave each of us, and I tried to do that. I tried to be as good a teacher as he was. Sometimes they come to see me and it's like it's flat and there's not, what is there to say? I try to get stuff out of them and they don't talk, and it's just kind of teacher-student thing. And so here I don't feel that. I feel it's like all these friends, and he was friends with us, and there was less lines, and it was open, and it's beautiful community still.
Just totally different experience.
A different experience, and I want that for my kids now, but it's very difficult, and I don't know even if it's appropriate. Like, I would probably get in trouble if I did some of it. Yeah. I don't know, and I think some of that's just being Terry and who he is. And of course I can't be Terry Kneisler, I'm Susan Maya.
The summer programs at Terry's house, I remember his wife teaching us Portuguese. I remember, I don't know how much we really learned, but I just remember her tying it into English. So she would bridge, this is, similar in this language and in this language. And I remember playing diplomacy. Mm-hmm. And I remember it being a place where my brother and I just felt extremely calm. And it was the first and the last time through my 12th grade year that I felt like a teacher really cared about me now and cares about where I'm going to go in the future. And I have never felt that since. And for any student that hasn't felt that from a teacher, I just think that they're missing out on so much. And so I'm just thankful that they opened their home up, because it was at their house, which is also amazing. And I remember not wanting to leave. You know, they were like, okay, summer program's over. Do we have to go? Yeah, you probably should go home to your parents. So.
You know, Terry was real special to me. I was in sixth grade and had some tough times in previous years adjusting and getting to know everybody, and he helped me get through that, and I think helped me to go to the next level as far as seventh grade and junior high, and I really have a lot of admiration for him and for the support and guidance that he gave me. I think I can name on one hand the teachers I've had in my life that I've had a connection with, and Terry was definitely one of those teachers at that age, that at any age really through college, that I remember that had an impact on my life. So thank you, Terry.
What are you finding out?
You know, what brought me here was my experiences at Sycamore, experiences that have lived with me all the way through my life. And in the last few years, I've embarked on fatherhood. And as my kids are coming along, it's amazing how it pulls you right back in your own childhood. And in the midst of that, I got an email saying there was going to be this reunion, and then there was all this email traffic about, memories and experiences that we all had, and I ended up all these doors to incredible places in the recesses of my mind. They open up, and you have these memories of things that that were so long forgotten. And so there's no way I would have missed it.
That's great. Great. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Just, Terry, thank you so much for wonderful memories in your classroom.
And Terry used to have special Sunday afternoons at his house for ice cream parties for those of us who would get so many straight A's or whatever, 100% on our spelling tests. I also remember the people in place reports that he did. And again, he said it wasn't about the actual people in places, it was about speaking in front of a group, and it was about being able to organize your thoughts and being able to, in some cases memorize, and, all the different skills that went along with it. So he used to stand up kind of the Jeopardy type game where he'd point to somebody or someplace and we'd all have to compete to see who could answer it first. Having him for 5th and 6th grade was really an amazing experience because, and I'm no different than everybody else. I have my different qualities, but we were all allowed to be who we needed to be. And that's, I think, the special part about Sycamore and Terry in particular. He let us be who we needed to be. And that was amazing.